Chosen one, stop for a moment and listen closely. Do not rush past this. Do not treat this as another sound in the noise. Something has been pressing on your spirit, and you have been trying to explain it away with ordinary words. But the heaviness you have carried is not ordinary. It is a signal. It is a sign that a battle has been moving around your name. You did not arrive here by accident. Your eyes were pulled here because your spirit has been sensing something your mind could not fully explain. You have felt watched, covered, and strangely warned. You have felt tired without knowing why. And deep inside, you have wondered if someone is fighting against you, when the hidden truth is that someone is fighting for you. Stay with this. I am not speaking to the part of you that performs strength for people. I am speaking to the part of you that sits in silence after everyone leaves, asking God why the weight has become so heavy. You have carried battles that were never public. You have survived attacks that nobody else could name. And still, heaven kept you from breaking. There is a reason this message found you now. Not yesterday, not next week, now. Because the battle around your next season has reached a point where you must understand what has been happening behind the veil. You thought the silence meant abandonment. You thought the delay meant rejection. But what if the silence was protection while heaven moved people, angels, and circumstances around you? Listen carefully. They are battling for you. Not because you are weak, not because you are helpless, not because you cannot stand. They are battling for you because what you carry matters more than you have allowed yourself to believe. Your assignment has weight. Your future has enemies. And your name has been defended in rooms you never entered. You have felt it in your body. That tightness in your chest. That sudden pressure behind your eyes. That strange exhaustion after speaking to certain people. It was not just stress. It was not just overthinking. Your spirit was detecting warfare before your mind could form language around it. You were feeling the movement of a hidden battle. Some of you woke up between 3 and 4 in the morning, staring into the dark with a feeling you could not explain. You checked your phone, you turned over, you tried to sleep again, but deep within you, something knew that your peace had been interrupted for a reason. Your spirit was hearing movement before your ears heard anything. And this is why you have been more tired than usual. You are not lazy. You are not losing your mind. You are not falling behind because you lack discipline. There are seasons when your physical body feels the pressure of a spiritual conflict, especially when your next door is closer than your current emotions can understand. The enemy wanted you to think nobody cared. He wanted you to believe that everyone you helped had forgotten you. He wanted you to look at the empty room, the silent phone, the unanswered message, and say, I am alone. But heaven has been blocking what you never saw, canceling what you never knew, and assigning help before you even knew you needed it. You have been fighting for other people for so long that receiving protection feels unfamiliar. You know how to pray for them. You know how to encourage them. You know how to hold their pain while hiding your own. But when heaven begins to send help toward you, old wounds make you suspicious of the very hands sent to lift you. That is why this message may feel intense. It is touching the place where you stopped expecting support. It is touching the memory of people who said they would stay, but disappeared when your storm became inconvenient. You learned to survive without asking. You learned to smile while bleeding. And slowly, you began to call isolation strength. But chosen one, isolation is not always strength. Sometimes it is a wound wearing armor. Sometimes it is fear pretending to be wisdom. Sometimes it is your nervous system saying, do not trust anyone, because the last time you trusted, you were left holding the pieces. Heaven knows this. Heaven saw that moment. Heaven did not forget. This is why you must listen until the end. Because the ones battling for you are not always loud. Sometimes they are praying in silence. Sometimes they are speaking your name with honor when others try to stain it. Sometimes they are blocking access to you without announcing it. Sometimes they are angels moving through circumstances you called coincidence. But they are not the only ones moving. Heaven is moving too. While the enemy was trying to wear you down, heaven was raising intercessors, protectors, witnesses, and unexpected voices. Someone has been defending your character. Someone has been holding your name with care. Someone has trusted the calling on your life more than you have trusted it yourself. Chosen one. The fact that you are tired does not mean you are losing. The fact that you are quiet does not mean you are defeated. The fact that you have been hidden does not mean heaven changed its mind about you. Hidden seasons often come before public vindication, because God protects what is still being prepared from hands that would mishandle it. That is why the next part of this message matters. Before you can recognize who is battling for you, you must understand why the enemy worked so hard to make you feel alone. He was not just attacking your peace, he was attacking your ability to receive help. He wanted your pain to become a wall against the protection heaven was sending. If this is speaking to your spirit, do one thing right now. Type 777 in the comments as a sign that you are covered. Not because a comment saves you, but because agreement matters. Sometimes your mouth, your hands, and your spirit need to line up and say, I receive the covering heaven has placed over my life. And after you type it, keep listening. Do not leave at the doorway of the revelation. The next layer will show you why the people and powers battling for you had to remain hidden. It will also show why their trust is connected to the version of you that has not fully stepped forward yet. Because this is the truth heaven wants to place deep in you. You are not being protected because you are fragile. You are being protected because you are valuable. You are not being defended because you cannot fight. You are being defended because your fight has consequences beyond what your eyes can see. Your breakthrough is not private. Your obedience is not small. So breathe. Let your shoulders drop. Let the tightness in your chest loosen for a moment. You do not have to understand every detail right now. You only need to receive this first truth. You are covered. You are seen. You are not abandoned. And the battle around you is proof that what is inside you is still a threat to darkness. But before you can recognize who is fighting for you, you must understand why the enemy was so desperate to make you feel alone. Chosen one, now that your spirit has heard the first truth, let it settle deeper. You are covered. The pressure you have felt was never proof that heaven forgot you. It was proof that something precious was being guarded while you were still learning how to stand. You kept asking why things were moving so slowly. You wondered why the door almost opened, then stopped. You wondered why certain people suddenly became distant, and why conversations that once felt natural began to feel heavy. But delay is not always denial. Sometimes delay is heaven holding back an entrance until the ground beneath it is safe. This is where you must stop blaming yourself. You are not behind because you failed. You are not stuck because God changed his mind. You are not delayed because you missed every sign. Some doors were paused because the battle around them was not finished, and heaven refused to let you walk into a room that was still being poisoned. They are battling for you in ways you could not trace. Some are praying for you without telling you. Some are defending your name when careless mouths try to twist your story. Some are being stirred by God to remember your kindness, your integrity, and your assignment. And some are not human at all, because heaven has always known how to send protection before danger reaches the door. Let me name something early, so your spirit does not feel this is being hidden from you. Later, I will explain it more fully. There is a simple audio tool called the Genius Song, created for people who need their inner clarity to return. It is a 7-minute track, listened to through headphones, using brain entrainment to support the gamma state, connected with focus, intuition, and that sharp inner knowing many chosen ones remember from childhood. If your spirit already recognizes that this kind of clarity is something you need, the link is in the description and the pinned comment. You do not need to rush. Stay with the message first, because this is not about chasing another thing. It is about understanding why clarity matters when heaven is sending help. because a clouded mind can mistake protection for delay and divine timing for rejection. Now, listen closely. The enemy does not only attack by sending obvious destruction. Sometimes he attacks by changing your interpretation of what heaven is doing. He makes protection look like punishment. He makes preparation feel like isolation. He makes silence sound like abandonment. And if he can change the meaning you attach to your season, he can drain your strength without ever touching your body. That is why you must let this reframe your reality. The silence around you has not been empty. It has been strategic. The separation has not been proof that you are unwanted. It has been a boundary while heaven sorted motives around you. The stillness has not been a tomb. It has been a covering over something that was not ready to be exposed. You wanted the door to open faster. You wanted the message to arrive sooner. You wanted the person to explain what they felt, what they saw, and why they suddenly began to care. But heaven does not reveal every helper at the beginning of the battle. Some people must stay hidden until the enemy loses access to the plan. This is the part you need to receive. You are not hard to love. You are not too much to carry. You are not too intense for the right people. You were simply too assigned to be handled by hands that wanted access without reverence. What God placed in you requires people with clean motives, steady hearts, and the courage to stand near your fire. That is why the battle has been so strange. It has not only been about enemies, it has been about alignment. Heaven has been separating voices. One voice was sent to accuse you. Another was sent to defend you. One presence was sent to distract you. Another was sent to cover you. Your discernment has been tested because your next season cannot be entered with open access to everyone. Think about Moses on the mountain. The battle was happening in the valley, but the victory was connected to hands that were lifted where most people could not see. Aaron and Hur did not take the spotlight. They did not demand applause. They simply held up what needed to stay lifted. And because they did, the battle below began to turn. That is a picture of what has been happening around you. You have been looking at the valley, counting what looks unfinished. But heaven has been assigning hands on the mountain. Someone has been holding you in prayer. Someone has been speaking truth when your name was mentioned. Someone has been refusing to believe the lie about you, even while you were too tired to defend yourself. But receive this carefully. The people fighting for you are not always the people you expected. Sometimes the one defending you is someone who once misunderstood you. Sometimes the one praying for you is someone you barely know. Sometimes the one heaven uses to open the next door is not the one you kept hoping would return, but the one God positioned quietly on the side. Chosen one, you are entering a season where help will look different. It may not arrive with loud promises. It may not announce itself with perfect words. It may come as a small act of defense, a sudden apology, a door kept open, a warning given quietly, or a person who stands beside you when there is nothing to gain from being seen with you. There is also a deeper reason someone trusts you more than you imagine. They have seen something in you that your pain has made you forget. They saw how you acted when nobody rewarded you. They saw how you kept your heart soft after betrayal. They saw how you carried responsibility without applause, and heaven used that evidence to mark you as trustworthy. This is why the enemy wanted you bitter. Bitterness would have made you reject the very help God prepared. Bitterness would have made you misread every loyal person as dangerous. Bitterness would have made you sabotage the bridge before you walked across it. But because you kept even a small part of your heart alive, heaven still has something to work with. Now let this truth settle. They are not only fighting against what tried to destroy you, they are fighting for the version of you that heaven already showed them. They are fighting for your clarity. They are fighting for your obedience. They are fighting for your ability to stand in the room you almost disqualified yourself from entering. And this is why you must not turn back into self-protection at the very moment help approaches. Guard your heart, yes. Test every spirit, yes. Move with wisdom, always. But do not confuse wisdom with fear, and do not call distrust discernment simply because it feels safer than opening your hands again. The next layer will go deeper, because when heaven sends people to battle for you, there is always a pattern in scripture, in spirit, and in the unseen rhythm of your life. You are about to see why the hidden hands around you had to remain quiet, and why the person who trusts you most may be connected to a future you have not fully believed in yet. So stay anchored. Do not drift. The person fighting for you is not only defending your present, they are defending the version of you that heaven already showed them. Chosen one. This is where the pattern becomes clear. Heaven has never protected assignment casually. When God places something weighty inside a person, He also raises hidden hands around that person. Some hands pray, some hands warn, some hands defend, and some hands simply keep you steady while the battle turns in a place you cannot see. Look at Moses. The people saw Joshua in the valley, fighting with a sword. But the turning point was not only in the valley, it was also on the mountain, where Moses lifted his hands and became weary. When his strength began to fade, Aaron and Hur came beside him and held him up until the victory was secured. That is not just history, that is a mirror. There are times when your visible life looks like the only battlefield, but the real turning point is happening in a hidden place of prayer, loyalty, and agreement. You may feel weak in public, while heaven is strengthening you through people you never knew were standing behind you. Moses did not win because he pretended he was never tired. He won because the right people recognized when his hands were falling. Receive that. You do not have to prove strength by refusing help. Sometimes, the most holy thing you can do is let heaven send someone to hold what your pain has made too heavy. Now think about David. He was anointed, but he was not immediately celebrated. He had promise, but he also had pressure. He carried oil on his life, yet Saul still hunted him with jealousy. And in the middle of that danger, God raised Jonathan, someone inside the very house of conflict, to defend the future king before the throne could recognize him. That is a word for you. There may be someone closer to the situation than you realize, someone who has heard the accusations, seen the tension, and quietly refused to believe the lie. They may not have announced themselves yet. They may not have called you, but in a room you never entered, they may have already spoken on your behalf. David could have thought he was alone. He could have believed every powerful voice was against him. But heaven had placed a witness in the house of his enemy. This is why you must stop assuming silence means nobody is defending you. Some battles are being handled in rooms where your presence would only make the conflict louder. This is the hidden trust reveal. Someone does not trust you because your life looks perfect. They trust you because they saw how you carried imperfection without becoming cruel. They saw you bruised, but not poisoned. They saw you disappointed, but not destroyed. They saw you misunderstood, yet still choosing not to become the thing that hurt you. And that kind of witness carries weight. The enemy wanted your reaction to become the evidence against you. He wanted you to lash out, collapse, expose everything, and speak from the wound instead of the spirit. But you stayed quiet when silence cost you. You kept your posture when nobody knew how much strength it required. This is why heaven can defend you without you defending yourself. There are receipts in the spirit. There are records of what you survived with grace. There are moments God saw that no human applauded. And when the time comes for your name to be spoken, heaven knows how to raise a voice that remembers the truth. Chosen one, that is what has been happening to you. You have been looking at the pressure and calling it proof of defeat. You have been looking at the delay and calling it proof of rejection. You have been looking at the silence and calling it proof of abandonment. But your eyes have only been seeing one layer. There is another layer. In that layer, angels have blocked paths that would have drained you. In that layer, people have lost peace when they tried to betray you. In that layer, certain doors closed because God refused to let corruption walk with you into your next season. What looked like loss was sometimes protection, wearing a painful disguise. This does not mean every hard thing was good. It means God knows how to use even hard things as boundaries. Some exits saved your life. Some rejections saved your peace. Some delays saved your assignment from being handled by people who only wanted access to your gift, not responsibility for your heart. This is where clarity matters. A foggy mind can misread protection. A wounded heart can misread loyalty. A tired spirit can misread delay. When your inner world is crowded with noise, even divine help can feel like interruption. And even a faithful person can look threatening because your past taught you to expect betrayal. But heaven is not only sending help around you, heaven is also restoring the capacity inside you to recognize help without panic. That is why your clarity is part of the battle. The enemy does not need to stop every helper if he can simply train you to reject them before they reach you. Think about that carefully. If someone has been praying for you, but your pain calls every caring person fake, the bridge breaks. If someone has been defending you, but your fear says nobody can be trusted, the bridge weakens. If heaven sends a door, but your exhaustion calls it too late, the door can stand open while you remain outside. This is the false summit. You may have thought the message was only that someone is fighting for you. That is true, but it is not the whole revelation. The deeper revelation is that heaven is also fighting to heal the part of you that stopped believing anyone could fight for you without wanting something from you. But chosen one, do not let old betrayal become the gatekeeper of your next season. Wisdom should guard the door, not trauma. Discernment should test the spirit, not fear. You are allowed to move slowly. You are allowed to watch fruit. But you are not called to turn your heart into a locked room and call that holiness. Someone trusts you more than you imagine because heaven allowed them to see your fruit beyond your fatigue. They see a future version of you that you have been too tired to picture. They see that your silence is not emptiness. They see that your softness is not weakness. They see that your obedience still has fire inside it. This is why the battle has become intense near the threshold. The enemy knows that if the right people stand with you, the assignment accelerates. If the right voice confirms you, the fog breaks. If the right helper meets you at the right time, you may stop shrinking and step into the authority heaven has been protecting. So no, you are not imagining the pressure. No, you are not foolish for sensing movement. No, you are not dramatic for feeling that something unseen has been shifting around your life. Your spirit has been perceiving what your circumstances have not yet revealed. Heaven has been arranging help while the enemy tried to convince you help was impossible. Stay with this now. The next part will confront the deepest blocker. Because the greatest danger is not that nobody is fighting for you. The greatest danger is that you might reject the help because old pain taught you to mistrust protection. And if that part of you is healed, the battle around you will begin to make sense. Chosen one, now we have reached the place where the message must confront the deepest wound. You were not abandoned. You were not forgotten. You were not left outside the covering of heaven. But you were hurt so deeply that protection began to feel suspicious, and help began to feel like another doorway to disappointment. That is the hidden blocker. You have become so used to standing alone that you almost no longer know how to receive someone standing for you. You can pray for others, you can defend others, you can carry others through storms. But when heaven sends someone to battle for you, a wounded part of your heart whispers, "What do they want from me?" That whisper did not come from wisdom. It came from pain. It came from the people who took your kindness and called it weakness. It came from the ones who benefited from your loyalty, then disappeared when you needed one honest voice. And because of them, you began to confuse isolation with safety. But heaven is breaking that pattern now. Someone trusts you more than you trust yourself right now. Not because they are blind to your scars, not because they think your life is perfect. They trust you because they have seen the assignment still burning under your fatigue, and they know your current pain is not the final version of your story. They do not trust the mask. They trust the seed. They do not trust the performance. They trust the oil. They do not trust the version of you that pretends everything is fine. They trust the version of you that still says yes to God while carrying questions that would have made other people walk away. This is why the enemy fought so hard to make you cynical. If he could not cancel the help, he wanted you to reject it. If he could not stop the voice defending you, he wanted you to distrust it. If he could not erase the door, he wanted your fear to stand in front of it and call itself discernment. But this ends here. You do not have to live suspicious of every good thing. You do not have to punish present helpers for past betrayal. You do not have to call every loyal hand a trap. Test the fruit. Watch the spirit. Move slowly, but do not let old pain become the prophet over your future. There is something heaven is restoring in you, and that restoration is not only emotional, it is clarity. You need clarity to know who is sent and who is assigned to distract. You need clarity to know when silence is protection and when silence is avoidance. You need clarity to recognize the ones heaven has allowed to battle for you in hidden places. This is why I mentioned the Genius song earlier. I did not mention it as a random product. I mentioned it because this message is about recognizing help, and recognition requires a mind that is no longer buried under noise. When your inner world is foggy, even divine timing can feel like rejection, and even protection can feel like delay. Many chosen ones remember being different as children. You learned quickly. You sensed things before others said them. You had sudden ideas, sharp intuition, and a strange inner knowing that adults could not always explain. You were not strange. You were carrying a God-given sensitivity, and science connects that kind of sharpness with the gamma state of the brain. Over time, life covered it. School trained you to fit in. Pain trained you to shut down. Betrayal trained you to second-guess your own spirit. Stress trained your mind to survive instead of perceive. And slowly, the version of you that once moved with clear inner knowing began to feel buried under fog. That is the gap many chosen ones feel. The distance between who you remember being and who you feel like now. You know there is more in you. You know your mind was made for more than confusion. You know your spirit was made for discernment, not constant guessing. That knowing is not arrogance, it is memory. The Genius song was created to support that return to clarity. It is a 7-minute digital audio track that you listen to through headphones. It uses brain entrainment to support the gamma state, the brainwave often connected with focus, intuition, flow, creative insight, and moments when the mind suddenly sees what was hidden before. Dr. Robert Lake, a neuroscience researcher with 34 years of experience, developed this audio after studying how specific sound patterns can influence brain states. Research from places like Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Princeton, Harvard, and other leading universities has helped show why brainwaves matter for focus and perception. This is not about replacing prayer. It is about giving your mind a daily anchor. A woman in Texas once described her mind as if it were running at a fraction of its real strength. She had spent years helping others grow, while she quietly felt stuck inside her own life. After using the Genius song for several weeks, she said the change was not loud at first. Ideas returned. Delayed decisions became clear. Her inner fog began to lift. That is the kind of support I am talking about. Not pressure, not hype, not a promise that every life changes in the same way overnight. This is a simple daily tool for the person who knows their clarity matters, especially when heaven is sending help they cannot afford to misread. Think about what people spend trying to feel clear again. A meditation app can cost around $15 every month. Online growth courses often run from $100 to $200. A weekend spiritual retreat can cost $400 to $800. A single therapy session can be around $150, and professional brain training can cost even more. Those things may help some people, but most of them do not specifically focus on supporting gamma clarity in a simple 7-minute daily format. The original price of the Genius song is $49, but for viewers of this message, it is $39 one time. No monthly subscription, no shipping. It is delivered digitally by email, and it also comes with 4 bonuses. Genius Child, valued at $19. Classic Book, valued at $20. Guided Visualization, valued at $29. 5 Habit Infographic, valued at $12. That is $80 in bonuses, included with the $39 audio. So the value is built around support, not pressure. There is also a 90-day money-back guarantee. If you use it and decide it is not for you, you can ask for a refund. No complicated return is needed because it is digital. And even if you refund, you still keep all 4 bonuses, the full $80 bonus value, as a thank you for giving the process your honest time. More than 18,366 people have used it, and the refund rate is framed at less than 4%. That means the strongest trust signal is not just how many people tried it. It is that the overwhelming majority chose to continue after receiving it. Still, your result is your own journey, and you should listen with wisdom. I also need to protect you from something. There are fake pages and copycat audios using similar names. Some are just ordinary sounds with no real brain entrainment behind them. Do not search for random versions on Amazon, YouTube, Spotify, or strange websites. The original is only through the link in the description and the pinned comment of this video. Now, pause for a breath. Place your attention on your heart for a moment. This is not a decision about chasing another thing. This is a decision about whether you are ready to support the clarity heaven has been trying to restore in you. If your spirit says yes, you already know where the next step is. The link is in the description and the pinned comment. Use only that link if you want the original The Genius song, the 4 bonuses, and the guarantee. Do not move from pressure. Move from recognition. If this message has been naming what your spirit already knew, then let your next step be calm, clear, and covered, because this is the truth. Heaven has been fighting to bring help near you, but clarity helps you recognize it when it arrives. The right person can stand beside you, the right door can open before you, and the right warning can reach your ears. But if fog rules your mind, you may still call protection a problem. That fog is lifting. You are not the same person who was wounded before. You are not the same person who had to beg for loyalty. You are not the same person who had to explain your heart to people committed to misunderstanding it. You are learning to receive help without surrendering wisdom. And now that clarity has been placed back in your hands, do not leave before we seal this protection over your next season. Chosen one, now remain still for this final covering. Do not rush out of this moment. Let the message settle in your bones. You have heard that you are not abandoned, and now you must let your spirit agree with what heaven has already been showing you through signs, delays, pressure, and protection. The battle around you is not meant to make you panic. It is meant to make you awaken. You are not called to run from every shadow. You are called to stand in authority while heaven moves around you. There is a difference between fear and discernment, and that difference will become clear as your spirit becomes quiet again. You do not need to chase every explanation. You do not need to call everyone and ask who is for you. You do not need to force the hidden thing to reveal itself before its time. The ones battling for you will be revealed by fruit, by consistency, by peace, and by the way their presence does not demand that you become smaller. Let this become your new posture. You can be open without being naive. You can be guarded without being cold. You can receive help without losing wisdom. You can love people without handing them the keys to your entire inner world. This is maturity. This is discernment. This is the strength heaven has been forming in you. In the next 72 hours, watch for a small confirmation. Do not look for drama, look for peace. It may come as a message, a sudden apology, a shift in tone, a door that stays open, or a person who quietly stands for you when they have nothing to gain. Heaven often confirms protection through simple movements, and when that sign comes, do not dismiss it. Do not call it coincidence because fear feels safer than faith. Do not shrink away from the help you prayed for just because it arrives differently than you expected. The battle was not only to protect you from harm, it was also to prepare you to receive what is safe. This is not the season to be careless. It is also not the season to be hardened. Move slowly, pray deeply, watch patterns, listen to peace. The Holy Spirit does not need chaos to guide you, and heaven does not need confusion to protect you. The right help will not pull you away from God. It will make obedience clearer. Chosen one, your name has been carried in places you did not see. Your tears have been counted. Your silence has been heard. Your restraint has been recorded. Every time you wanted to explain yourself but chose peace, heaven saw it. Every time you kept serving while wounded, God saw the cost. That is why vindication is not only about proving others wrong. It is about restoring what the battle tried to steal from your spirit. Peace, trust, clarity, the ability to receive kindness without suspicion, the courage to stand near love without expecting it to disappear. Heaven is restoring your capacity to live covered without feeling unsafe. Now breathe slowly. Let your shoulders release. Let your jaw soften. You do not have to carry the courtroom in your chest anymore. You do not have to rehearse every accusation, every betrayal, and every moment they misunderstood you. The judge of all things has not missed a single detail. Place your hand over your heart if you can. Let this be a quiet agreement, not a performance. You are not begging heaven to notice you. You are agreeing with the covering that has already been placed over your life. Say this with your spirit, even if your voice is soft. I am not abandoned. I am covered. I am not forgotten. I am seen. I release the fear that every helper is a trap. I release the wound that made protection feel dangerous. I receive divine help with wisdom, peace, and discernment. I will not reject what heaven sends because of what pain taught me. I will not punish loyal people for the actions of those who betrayed me. I will test every spirit, but I will not let fear pretend to be wisdom. I am allowed to receive help. I am allowed to be protected. I am allowed to rest. My name is defended by God. My assignment is covered by heaven. My next season will not be stolen by confusion. I will recognize the right voices. I will recognize the right doors. I will recognize the quiet hands that have been sent to help me stand. Every false accusation loses power now. Every hidden attack loses access now. Every counterfeit connection is exposed now. Every loyal helper is revealed in the right time. Every divine door opens only when it is safe for me to walk through it. I move by peace, not panic. I forgive the version of me that thought isolation was the only safe place. I honor the part of me that survived. I bless the part of me that is learning to trust again. I am not weak because I need support. I am human, chosen, covered, and guided. Now receive that. Let it settle. Something in you is being unknotted. The part of you that braced for abandonment is beginning to breathe again. The part that expected betrayal is learning to recognize peace. The part that felt unseen is beginning to understand that heaven has been watching all along. There will be a shift in how you read the next few days. You will not only look for enemies, you will look for witnesses. You will not only watch for attacks, you will watch for helpers. You will not only measure delay by frustration, you will ask whether heaven is arranging protection before access. That is wisdom. That is the new lens. You are not walking into this season blind. You are walking with discernment, softness, strength, and covering. You do not have to announce every move. You do not have to prove every point. You do not have to convince everyone that God is with you. The right people will know. The right people will feel the weight of your assignment. The right people will not require you to shrink, perform, beg, or bleed to prove that you are worthy of their loyalty. They will recognize the oil on your life, and their presence will make obedience feel clear. If this message reached the deepest part of you, type "I am covered" in the comments. Let it be your declaration, not for attention, not for performance. Let it be a mark in the earth that says, "I receive the help heaven has sent." If you know another chosen one who has been silently fighting alone, send this message to them. One timely word can become their reminder that heaven is still near. Subscribe and stay close to this covering if your spirit recognizes the voice of this assignment, because more clarity is coming. Before you go, hear this final word. The battle has not been proof that you are cursed. It has been proof that your life carries weight. The resistance was never stronger than the covering. The delay was never stronger than the promise. The silence was never stronger than the God who was still speaking over you. They are battling for you. Heaven is covering you. Your name is not forgotten. Your assignment is not cancelled. Your help is not too late. Your discernment is returning. Your heart is healing. Your next season will not be entered in fear, because you will walk into it covered, clear, and ready. You are seen, you are held, you are protected, you are guided. And from this moment forward, you will not reject the protection heaven sends, simply because the past taught you to survive alone. You are no longer only surviving, you are receiving. You are covered,